I've been doing business for more than 10 years, and here are the 5 most important lessons that I learned that allowed me to grow companies. It's gonna be short and practical. Hi, Dennis here. In the 10 years that I've been doing business, I managed to create a few successful side hustle projects, start up a 6-figure company in a music e-commerce business, undergo a pivot, manage the company in crisis, and many other things. I have both a practical business experience as well as a formal education about entrepreneurship from one of the top-tier business schools in Europe. This video is gonna help you both if you're looking to start a business or if you have one. Okay, lesson number 1. There are practically 3 business strategies that you can do. You can differentiate by creating a different product, for example, like Apple did with an iPhone. You can be a low cost, like Southwest or Ryanair here in Europe. Both of these are red ocean strategies. But there is also a blue ocean strategy, where you're both a differentiator and a low-cost provider, since you're basically the first on the market. Phew, sounds boring, right? Well, I've actually done both, and here's what I learned. If you don't want to be the next trillion-dollar company founder, and what are the chances of that anyway, it may be a better idea to differentiate. You see, when we started our business, we were doing something that nobody actually does. We were the first on the market, and we were having an awfully hard time explaining to customers what it is we're selling. So we had to attract new clients from nowhere, educate them about our business and about our offerings. After our pivot, we completely changed the way of things. We changed both our strategy and our product. And then we found ourselves competing with 12 other firms. Well, what do you think? This turned out to be a great thing for us. And you know why? Because now we did not have to spend our advertising budget on educating customers what it is we're doing, but we would spend money on stealing customers from our competitors. And that turned out to be a great strategy. The existing customer base of our competitors was actually already aware what it is the service that we're providing, but we managed to do it a bit better than the market. This differentiation business is 100 times easier, and you can build billion-dollar companies around it. Alright, lesson number 2. Try to reinvest in growth as much as you possibly can. When we first started, we had a slight profit coming in, and we decided that we would take this profit as a salary out immediately. Our revenue and profits then did not grow, and we were lucky if we made the same salary every month. However, one big leap forward for the company turned out when we actually decided not to take money from the business, but reinvest it. In our case, back in 2017, it was by buying social media ads and thus growing our customer base. And obviously this led to us growing the business and getting even more money. So money is like the fuel for your venture, and if you're sure in the business model that you have to invest more and grow your company. Okay, lesson numero 3. Learning to delegate. And man, this is a hard thing. This seems very obvious and everybody talks about it all the time. But trust me, when you actually have to do it, it is hard. I wanted to say hard. For myself, as soon as one of my responsibilities had become a bottleneck for the company, where I would spend all my time doing one thing while I could have done an activity that allows us to bring in more money, I tried to delegate it. It was always tough, and every time the motivation to do so would come from my business partner, but eventually I would find an employee who I could delegate my tasks to. And trust me on this, if this new employee can do this task at least 70% as good as you were doing it, your business is gonna be in good hands. And quick example, of course. Recently, I delegated all the project management for our customer projects within our company, and at the time this seemed absolutely impossible. I didn't think this can be delegated to anybody else, and I thought of myself as a key person doing this task. This saved up so much of my time that I was able to focus on business development and sales, and then we grew. And actually, this new person managed to do the task even better than I did, because she had her full focus on it. It's gonna be very hard, but if you do not delegate, you're gonna hit a glass ceiling very. Okay, lesson number 4. Put yourself on a place of your customer. No matter if it is B2B or B2C, I always say that your business has to do 2 things. First, solve a problem. Second, do it better and preferably cheaper than the existing solution on the market. But to understand if it actually does that, you have to get into the mind of your client. Who's your customer? Do not just sell to any group of people. How do they think? How do they make a decision to buy your product or not? What problem are you solving? Why are you so valuable to them? Just think about these few questions and it's gonna help you market your products and grow sales. And last but not least comes the lesson number 5. Save as much money as possible. There are 2 ways to make your paycheck or profit look bigger. Number 1 being that you can either sell more and increase the revenue, or you can cut your costs and spend less within the same revenue to grow your profits. In our business, we decided early on that we would not open an office and try to minimize all the recurring monthly costs that we may have. We have people working from all over the world, but we're not spending hardly any money on physical locations. Of course, this money saving rule comes in many more ways, but I'm not gonna get into too much detail here, maybe in the next videos. Now mind that our particular office example may not work for every business, mostly for digital ones anyway, but there are always ways to save money in just any company without hurting employees, of course. Hope these lessons were valuable. I have a lot more to say, and in the upcoming content I have so many breathtaking stories about business that I want to share with you guys. So with a bit of teasing from my side, of course, please subscribe and press the notification button on my channel, and I see you soon.